There are shows with psychics.
And there are shows with doctors.
But there's no show like The Psychic and the Doc.
Your practical paranormal power unleashed.
This show synthesizes the talents of world-class medium Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, psychic explorer,
and street smart spiritualist, behavioral psychologist, Dr. Pat Baccili. All subjects are on the table and no topic is taboo. Inspiration, insight,
action, and fun as Mark Anthony connects callers with loved ones in spirit,
in tandem with Dr. Pat's fresh, no-nonsense, street-smart, intuitive insights. And she is hilarious.
Extraordinary problems
require extraordinary solutions, which may come from this side
or the other side. This is The Psychic
and the Doc, and it starts now. Welcome, everyone, to The Psychic and the Doc. I'm Mark Anthony, JD, Psychic Explorer. My co-host, Dr. Pat Baccili, is unable to make it tonight, but we have a special surprise for you. Our special co-host, Rocky Trainer. She's one of the producers for the show, and Rocky has co-hosted the show with me before. So how you doing tonight, Rocky?
I'm doing okay, Mark. I had a little dental surgery today, so kind of puffy, but here I am. And I hope everyone out there calls in, and we look forward to listening to issues and things, and hopefully we can resolve it. And everyone could call at 1-800-930-2819. So we look forward to your call. Many blessings.
See, what a trooper Rocky is. She had dental surgery today, but the call of duty, she has risen to the occasion. Before I get into the theme of the show tonight, on behalf of everyone here at Transformation Network, including Dr. Pat and all our producers and everyone affiliated with the network, we want to extend our deepest sympathies and heartfelt condolences to the families of the horrific plane crash in Washington, D.C. The details are still coming in. The FAA says they won't have a preliminary report for 30 days. I think it's important for people to not jump to conclusions, but instead to focus on the grief and on the horrific loss that all these people are facing. So, I know we're starting on a somber note, but tragedy spares no one. And it doesn't matter if you are of modest means or you have all the money in the world. At some point in life, we're all going to face death. And sometimes it is abrupt and unexpected, like it was for the families of everyone killed in that crash. Tonight's theme is Get Your Piece of Nonviolence. And peace, we're spelling it P-E-A-C-E. And the reason for that is on January 30th, today's January 30th of 1948, Mohandas K. Gandhi, known as the Mahatma, which in Hindi means the great soul, was assassinated by a political extremist. And if there's anyone in modern history, aside from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who personifies peace, it was Gandhi. Gandhi brought down the British Empire, and he did it through nonviolent non-cooperation. He stressed because there was a lot of people in India that wanted a violent insurrection against the British, and he said no. He said when you cause violence, it only generates more violence. And Gandhi, even though the famous line, an eye for an eye and the whole world goes blind, I know that Fiddler on the Roof, the Broadway show, that's where that was popularized, but it was actually Gandhi who said that. And Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. studied Gandhi's nonviolent, non-cooperation tactics and applied them during the 1960s. So that is why today's show is dedicated to Get Your Piece of Nonviolence. And the thing about peace is it's more than just the absence of violence. Peace is something everyone who is grieving needs, inner peace. Now, Rocky, I know you're very familiar with working with people and making them aware of inner peace. What are your thoughts on this? And we are going to go to the phone lines, 1-800-930-2819. This is a call-in show. We will be getting to the callers shortly, but we want to go ahead and talk about this because there's a lot of people right now suffering. Rocky, what are your thoughts on peace?
No, it is to, I think everyone at one moment or another gets angry about something.
Yeah.
And as we get older and more educated and exposed to things, we become more patient and we listen more. So before you act out, even saying something cruel, just stop, breathe, and think, because possibly that person that has evoked this feeling of anger and violence within oneself, I would suggest reverse the roles and try to see what they're feeling and why you want to do that. I mean, just recently in my neighborhood, a few blocks away, the traffic was terrible. There's construction going on. Some crazy, angry person who has been sitting in traffic actually committed road rage on another person. I mean, they got out of the car with a golf club and start beating their car.
Oh my God.
And it was horrible. And the traffic was stopped. If that person had just stopped and just thought a moment, don't do that. Go within yourself and see what's making you angry and ask for guidance. Breathing, center yourself and try to remain calm and understand the situation. You don't know what happened to the person in front of you or around you. Do the best you can. I saw, and I will look it up, but I saw a 12-minute film on I think it was Netflix last night, and it was about two parents grieving, and it was done in animation form, cartoon form, and how they disengaged from one another because their grief was so bad. And then what they showed in the cartoon, which I thought was amazing, was they were angry and their shadows were arguing with each other as they sat there grieving. And it showed each scene, their shadows responding in anger. And the actual
I saw that. It was like what people are feeling is the shadows represented the emotions that were going on. We all have that. There's a reverend at actually Mary Queen of the Universe Basilica in Orlando, and I used to like listening to him because he was a great speaker. And when the church service was over, he always said, "And remember, when you're leaving the parking lot, the person in the car in front of you is not your enemy." And we have to think about that, because with road rage, oh, that stupid person, oh, there, because we're all we got our agendas and where we got to be and all this, and that gets people all very perturbed and agitated. But you have to realize that every single person is fighting some type of battle. Maybe your kids have some difficult medical condition. Maybe you do. Maybe there's financial woes. Everybody has something. So finding that inner peace, and like Rocky has said, taking a step back is really great. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back, and we're going right to the phone lines. And the call-in number is 1-800-930-2819. This is the Transformation Network. This is the Psychic and the Doc, and we'll be right back.
Well, welcome back to the Psychic and the Doc on the Transformation Network. I am standing in for Dr. Pat. No one could ever stand in her shoes. However, she's unavailable tonight. So I am here with the amazing Mark Anthony, the Psychic Explorer, and we are going to bring our callers on. So who is coming on next? And we'll have them speak with Mark.
Oh, before we go to the callers, I want everyone to I want to invite everyone to sign up for my newsletter, which is go to afterlifefrequency.com, which is just like my latest book, Afterlife Frequency. You can sign up for one-on-one readings. Pretty much the winter readings are booked up, but we do have a few spots available in the spring. But also, I'm going to be on a U.S. tour. I'm going to be in Houston in just a couple weeks at Body, Mind, and Soul of Houston. I'll also be on Great Day Houston. You can find out about all the events there by visiting the calendar of events on my website. I also have online light circles, which are going to be February 14th and 15th. Now, February 14th is Valentine's Day. But the thing is, a lot of people are suffering from broken hearts because a loved one has passed. And that's why we decided to do the light circles Valentine's Day, which is Friday, February 14th, and then another one on Saturday. Light circles are limited to 6 people each, so everyone is guaranteed a reading, and there's a beautiful synergistic effect. And then next week here on The Psychic and the Doc, we have a very special guest, Suzanne Ross, who is the founder and the host of the Sedona Ascension Retreats, which are coming up in March. And you can save 10% on the admission price with your code Psychic Explorer. Go to my website, the calendar of events, go into March. You'll see the Sedona Ascension Retreat. We got a whole lot of other things. Rocky and I, I'm going to be on tour. Rocky travels with me. But the things coming up next are the online light circles, then Great Day Houston and Body, Mind, and Soul of Houston, and then the Sedona Ascension Retreats. And let me tell you, Sedona is considered one of the top 10 most beautiful places on earth, and it is. So, yeah, go ahead, Rocky.
Well, I was going to say Sedona Ascension Retreat. It's its 10th anniversary. So this is going to be a very special gathering and so many wonderful speakers. And of course, Mark is a keynote and also outdoor adventures in the vortexes. So if you have never been, please go. And then also in Houston, you can call Body, Mind, and Soul and reserve your seats for the events there, as well as Great Day Houston has a few seats open for the audience. So go to Great Day Houston. If you go to Mark's website, all the information is there. And we welcome our Texas friends. And I understand we have people from Texas online right now.
All right, now let's go to the phones. Who do we have?
Yes, we do. Our first caller today is going to be Christine from Texas. Christine, you're on the line right now.
Hello,
Hey.
how are you?
Hey, Christine, how you doing? How can we help you tonight?
Yes, well, as a matter of fact, I recently lost a loved one, and I'm a first-time caller and wasn't sure what to expect. I read one of your books, and it just compelled me to join you today to see if there were any messages that were being potentially sent my way.
Okay. Is this a male that passed recently?
That is correct.
Okay, and the reason I'm
That is
asking
correct.
that is because I'm getting a male energy associated with you coming forward, and what I'm getting with him is prior to passing. Now we all know that everyone's heart and lungs stop functioning, at the point of death. But what I'm getting is this dysfunction. I'm getting this erratic heartbeat, like bump, 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 bump. So there was a fibrillation, a distress, a major distress in his heart and also with his lungs. I'm getting a lot of pain, and now I'm getting a tremendous amount of pain and stiffness in the intestines. So something was going on, which is affecting this gentleman's heart, lungs, and abdominal region. And I know that, Christine, you have a particular person in mind. Always keep in mind that sometimes the individual that you want to hear from the most may not be the first one in. It could be somebody else associated with you. But he's also now giving me a metallic taste in my mouth. Now, a metallic taste could mean one of three things. It could be something involving seizures, spasms, convulsions. It could mean medications, legal or otherwise. Sometimes metallic taste means gunshot, okay? But what I do get is that this condition, what was going on with him, this was plaguing him for some time, but then it just really accelerated. And that's why I'm getting like this dizzy disorientation, the metallic taste, and I getting like a knee jerk. When I say knee jerk, I feel like this involuntary physical reaction and agitation prior to passing, and then the massive cardiopulmonary distress and this intense pain in the abdominal tract. Does any of this make sense to you with a male connected to you that passed?
It absolutely does.
Okay. Don't tell me his name. What is his relationship to you? It feels like he's either on your generational level, he's very close to you, either your generational level or the one, he's right around your generational level. Go ahead.
My spouse.
I'm sorry, your spouse? Okay,
Yes, that's correct. My husband.
All right, that's why he's on your generational level. It's interesting because I was getting generational level and it's like, well, could he be above it or below it? He's locked on right there. So this is definitely him. And hold on. He really, whatever was the cause of death, he really put up a good fight. He was doing his very best to hang in there. He said, but there just wasn't any fight left in him. And it doesn't mean that he gave up. It's just his body didn't have the wherewithal to resist anymore. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. This is going to sound corny, but he's accessing a song in my brain. When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, all right, you know the song. He keeps giving that to me, and this is really sweet because obviously he loves you, but there is a playfulness. There's like this boyish charm. Like he was definitely, he was a mature guy, but he still had his boyish charm, the playfulness. He said, whenever you walked in the room, my life lit up. Let me tell you, he just absolutely adored you on planet Earth, and he adores you in spirit. The interesting thing, and this is a cool thing, I'm smelling pineapple. I mean, I can smell like a fresh pineapple. Pineapple is fascinating because it can mean a couple different things, Christine. It could mean either you or he loved or disliked pineapple because, some people got to watch out for it because it's very high in sugar. But pineapple is a healing food. And so folks that are coping with inflammation, pineapple is a good thing to eat because it's a natural, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory. But pineapple can also mean a connection to the Caribbean and or Hawaii. So that can mean like you or he or both of you ventured to the Caribbean and or Hawaii. So we got pineapple, we got inflammation possibility, or Caribbean or Hawaii. Anything there resonate with you, Christine?
Well, actually, I think, all three do.
Okay, go ahead.
Related to inflammation. Absolutely. That was something that he suffered from. Yeah. That being said, we did also visit both Hawaii and the Caribbean.
Oh, fantastic. So see, he's bringing all these happy memories up, and he said, our last words will not be our last words. Aw. So what he's telling you is obviously he's telling you now how much he loves you and he wants you to smile, but he realizes that the last words that you spoke with each other, and it didn't seem like it was real long. It seemed it was pretty short. He said, but those are not our last words. He will be communicating with you like he's doing right now. So he wants you to know that, he keeps showing me a bunch of ladles, spatulas, like cooking, like big cooking, and I'm, we all cook, and I'm an Italian guy, so I cook, but he's talking about you in the kitchen and the spatula and the ladle. And I know that sounds goofy, but, and he keeps said, you're looking for your favorite ladle. Okay. Does that, I know that sounds bizarre, but does that make any sense?
Well, we would do meal prep together, and we would cook healthy entrees together every night for dinner. And if you don't mind, Mark, when you brought up pineapple, what did not come to mind, but what did come to mind is that his very favorite ride at Disney World was Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, there you go. Pineapple, Caribbean. Okay. And the food and everything. Here's the thing. He's going to be coming through to you quite a bit. I think from what I'm getting from him, you're already feeling him around. And let me tell you something, Christine, for all our listeners out there, the way Christine is connecting the dots and making the associations, that's how you do a reading. Because when a piece of information comes in, you go with what hits you first. And that's what you're doing, Christine. And that's why things are coming through so smoothly. So you're very receptive to the contact. He loves you very much. He will be part of your life always. He may not be here physically, but he is here and will continue to be with you spiritually. Rocky, do you have anything to add?
Well, first of all, Christine, I'm so sorry for your loss. To lose your life partner is devastating. It leaves a space in your life that no one else can fill, because that was that unique relationship. So my deepest condolences to you. I'd like to ask, what area? Sure. What area of Texas are you in?
Well, actually, we were residing in Florida, and because of the hurricanes, we came to Texas to visit family, and that is where Sean passed. So we are in the Texas Fort Worth area now.
Okay, because I was going to say, if you were anywhere close to Houston, we'd love to have you be our guest at Great Day Houston on the CBS affiliate, and love to meet you in person. It would be so nice.
That would be lovely.
Yes. So if you can make that happen, we'll be happy to see you. We'll be in the middle of February. You can go to Mark's website and click in, and just also mention the fact that you were on the show. I hope that things get better for you. Take one day at a time, and we'll keep you in our thoughts and prayers. And thank you so very much for calling in, and we are so very sorry for your loss.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that sentiment. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. God bless you. Thank you. Nat, let's take a quick, a very short break, and then we're going to go back to the phone lines. I know we have other callers on the line. I'm Mark Anthony, JD, Psychic Explorer. Please visit my website, afterlifefrequency.com. I invite you to sign up for the newsletter, and we'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back, everyone, to the Psychic and the Doc here on the Transformation Network. I'm Mark Anthony, JD, Psychic Explorer. Dr. Pat, my co-host, has recently launched a website, unstuckable.com, unstuckable.com, unstuckable.com. And please check it out. She has all these amazing programs and things that are very inspirational. It's a big self-help website. Plus, it's got Dr. Pat's unique take on things. She is just an amazing person to work with. And unstuckable, think about it. At some point in life, we all feel like we stepped into a tar pit. and we're stuck. And it can be from grief, from the passing of a loved one. It could be you feel like you're stuck in a lousy relationship, a terrible job, just sort of a malaise in general. And sometimes what you need is a new perspective. And Dr. Pat is an expert on helping you find that new perspective so that you are unstuckable.
Yes. And also the Dr. Pat Show. She does this for many years. It's a wonderful show. She has great guests. And of course, as you say, Dr. Pat has a life experience and the credentials to really open up and help people who are wanting to discuss certain things that are going on in their life, as well as here we are on the Psychic in the Doc. Unfortunately, I'm not the doc this evening, but I'm here to help facilitate Mark as Pat is unable to be here. So, Mark, what do you think? Should we ask Nat to bring on our next caller?
Absolutely. Nat, who do we have on the phone next?
All right, our next caller is going to be Mai from Houston. Mai, you're on the line now.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how are you this evening?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Well, we're good, and we're so glad that you called in. What questions or things you have that you would like Mark to maybe help you with?
Well, I had a friend that passed away, and I feel him around quite a bit. And I was wondering if he was around or if you had anything from him.
Well, if you're feeling him around, that's a pretty good indication, Mai, that he's around. Okay. And I'm glad that you opened with that because it's important for everyone to realize not everyone's a psychic or a medium, but everyone is capable of having a psychic or a mediumistic experience. And why? Because we all have the same basic physiology. And the thing is, a lot of times we doubt it because, it's like the idea of somebody who's died communicating with us, but it is a fact of life. Now, the interesting thing that I'm getting, and I know I use the word interesting too much. Rocky's always saying you say interesting, but it's like, that's interesting. But what I'm getting is Mike, do you know that bubble gum, the Bazooka Joe bubble gum? It's pink and rectangular shaped, and it tastes like polyurethane with sugar on it. It's just like what I'm talking about?
Loved it when I was a kid.
Yeah, when I was a kid. When I get Bazooka Joe bubblegum, because this is being transmitted to me from a male spirit connected with you, each symbol that I get or each auditory message or whatever can have more than one meaning. And this could mean, because it's Bazooka Joe, that's either he or you or someone connected to you or him that's of significance, could be military, specifically Army. Because Joe, it could be a J name, a male J name, a Jim, Jack, Joe, Jeff, John. Is there anything, any real male close to you with a J name or anyone in the military? Or does that gum have a significance to you other than my interpretations?
Not off the top of my head. My uncle was in the military.
And is he in spirit?
He is.
Okay. And you guys were really close?
He was my favorite uncle, yes.
Okay. Was he losing his hair prior to passing, like balding or thinning, or was that your friend? Because I got a male coming through, he's pointing to his head, but it's more than just thinning hair. I'm also getting pressure inside my head, particularly in the left hemisphere, left temple, massive pressure buildup. So what this indicates to me, Mai, is that the gentleman who's coming through, he could have had a stroke. There could have been a brain bleed, a brain tumor, because different causes of death have a similar physical sensation. It's concentrated very heavily in the left lobe. Does that make any sense either to your friend or to your uncle who passed?
100% to my uncle.
For your uncle. Okay.
Yeah.
So, sometimes the person we hope to hear from is not the first one to step forward. So we got your uncle coming through, and he's the military. Was he Army? Do you know?
He was actually Navy.
He was Navy. Interesting. He's showing me Bazooka Joe. Bazooka Joe. Hmm. Okay, that's okay though. We got the military. Let's see what he wants you to know. Now your
Okay.
male. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, no. I was saying okay. I'm listening.
Who played guitar? Because now I got two guys here, and a guitar just took shape between them, and it's an acoustic guitar. You know, it's not an electric guitar, but it, you know, if they played electric, we'll go with that. But or is there a particular significance or resonance with you, if you will, with guitar music?
I like acoustic guitar.
There you go. See, that's a fact about you. So we got your uncle, now we got your friend in here. And he keeps sneezing, and he's showing me hay fever. He's showing me a bunch of heather, lavender. He's like, okay, now it's okay. That's fascinating. So, is there any issue with allergies, either with him, with you, or your uncle?
I was telling someone that I have allergies. Just yesterday, I was telling this man that I have allergies that developed when we moved out to Louisiana. And every time I chew gum, I start having sneezing attacks.
Oh my God. Tonight's episode, we have the two best callers ever tonight, because let me tell you something. All right. So your spirits, we got two guys here. They come in, they bring us a piece of gum, which indicates military. That's your uncle. Then they give us their cause of death. Then they start making me sneeze, talking about allergies. And yesterday you were having a conversation about allergies, which are triggered when you chew gum. Okay,
chew gum. Yep.
So and this is a perfect example of how each piece of evidence that a spirit transmits is like the piece of a puzzle, but they're not always in sequential order. And so we got to get a couple pieces and you put them together, and now it's making sense. Okay. This is funny. So we're going from your uncle to your male friend, and he's like a magician. He's got the old silk top hat, and he just pulled a rabbit out of the hat. Now that's a okay. Boy, your spirit's like giving metaphors. Okay. Now, I have an interpretation for this, but before I go to mine, what does pulling a rabbit out of the hat mean to you?
When I was little, I was fascinated with David Copperfield, and I remember that trick. Like, that was one of the first tricks I remember from him, and that was around the time that I was around my uncle a lot. Aww. So maybe that could be it.
Not maybe, that's definitely it. Because people will say, oh, you're cold reading. Really? Like, I'm going to pull rabbit out of the hat, hoping to get a hit. But see, this is something your uncle knows, and your guy friend is around you too. Did he used to wear a lot of long sleeve shirts, either your uncle or your male friend, with like flower patterns on it? It almost feels like a flannel shirt, but kind of a floral pattern, but kind of subdued. When I was a kid, we used to call them like hippie shirts, so this could mean that your friend's kind of cool and laid back. Does that make any sense with him? Oh, that's your uncle again?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. All right. So we got your uncle.
It was my friend.
Oh.
That was your friend?
Me and him were real spiritual. Yeah, we were super spiritual. So like he would talk about all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm smelling some smoke. Now, at first there was some sandalwood, but then there's something else which is becoming legal in a lot of states. And as an attorney, I advise you not to either admit nor deny. So we'll just move to the next piece of evidence. And this is funny. He's got a slinky. Remember those toy slinkies? Do they still make slinkies?
Yeah.
He's going.
They do.
Okay, so Slinky, and he's putting it on a staircase, and the Slinky's going down the staircase, and he's doing Slinky. And what he's telling me is that's kind of how the energy of life is. He says that it's always reacting, and he said that when you think it's done, it's not. It moves on. Wow, this is really cool. Yeah, that is really cool. And he just says Jean Nate. Rocky, what is that cologne or perfume? Jean Nate. Okay, now you've seen me do hundreds, if not thousands, of readings. Have I ever mentioned Jean Nate?
Jean Nate. It's a lemony scent, but it's beautiful, soft, light.
Okay, does anything with that name, it could be a J name or an N name or that particular lemony
Scent.
scent makes sense in any way. Oh, and remember, when a piece of information comes in, it's not always about the spirit. They can bring up all types of things that could be connected to you or somebody else connected to you, either on planet Earth or in spirit. Go ahead, Mike.
It could be the tea that I make every day. I squeeze one lemon in there,
Is it
and I just started that.
What type of tea is it? Is it like a floral scent tea?
So I mix ginger with cayenne pepper, honey, and garlic, and one other thing. Garlic, lemon, honey, cayenne pepper. There's something else I'm missing off the top of my head, but
that's okay. Is there a jasmine in there?
So Jasmine is my friend.
Jasmine is your friend?
Yeah, she's still here though.
That's okay. That's okay. Because I'm hearing Jasmine. Did he know Jasmine? Because he said, say hi to Jasmine.
So he didn't know her, but she's around now a lot.
He knows her now. Okay. He knows her now because he's saying Jasmine. Oh, and what's really good is, it's like, I don't want to say that because nobody replaces anybody, like Rocky said before, but Jasmine is in some ways kind of filling the void. Now if Jasmine's listening, Jasmine, your purpose in life is not to fill the void for other people, but what that means is that you and Mai are now forming a new relationship. It's like when one door closes, another door opens, and this is the point in your life and in Jasmine's life when the two of you are supposed to come into each other's life. And that's what he wants you to know. So I'll leave that with you. Rocky, do you have anything you, yeah, go ahead, Rocky.
Yes, and I also think sometimes sisterhood and like brotherhood, sisterhood, people making friends and having friends when a void in your life, such as a passing, even a divorce, when you have friends that come in, this helps you move into the new threshold of all that's before you. And I've seen it happen with friends, myself. When my gal pals were around, it gave me encouragement to go out and do things, because when you're mourning and hurting, it's hard to move from that spot. And so she's a good influence. And isn't it interesting how the Gina Tay, which came out of left field, I've never heard Mark say anything like that. And that is a lemon scent that is wonderful. And I do a tea similar to yours. I put turmeric in it as well. And that is
that's the other thing, turmeric.
There we go.
So what Mark was bringing up from spirit were scents of herbs and things that are fruity, such as the lemons. And then it segued off into Jasmine, who is your friend. So it all linked together. So I am seeing that this friend Jasmine is a wonderful force in your life. Enjoy your herbal teas together and do things together, because it'll open up to meet other friends and new relationships. And I'm not saying jump into a relationship right away, because some people jump into a relationship and it's almost like a rebound, and it's the worst thing you can do.
Oh, yeah.
Think slowly and enjoy each relationship. And I am sorry for your loss. We're all sorry from the Transformation Network. It's a terrible thing to go through. However, there's a day we come in and a day we go out, and that's up to what our life plan is. And you have more life to live. So be aware, look up, keep a journal beside your bed. Maybe your loved one will come to you in his dreams and in your dreams, and help you as well getting through your grief.
And, tonight's show, these two callers could be an instructional video for how to approach a reading. And I want to compliment you, and I want to compliment our first caller, Christine, if she, I believe she may still be listening, because, and this is for the benefit of the other callers that are holding and the folks that'll be calling in future shows. When a piece of information from a spirit is transmitted to me and I give it to you, go with what hits you first. Okay. Because as you can see with both Christine and Mai, they put together the pieces of the puzzle, like with the allergies and the gum and all the other things that came through. When people immediately shoot something down, no, 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 I call it the no, no, no syndrome. And the no, no, no syndrome is the biggest problem during readings. Because the mediums, we're getting the information, but unless it's validated or confirmed by the client, it's a three-way cycle. You have the other side, as the top of the pyramid, and then you have the medium at the bottom of one side of the triangle and the client on the other. And some people, a form of the no, no, no syndrome is overthinking things. Well, why would he bring up the allergy? He didn't know that. That happened after he died. He didn't know this. They didn't know that. Or that makes no sense. All right. When people start doing that, that's no, 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 as opposed to, gosh, the gum and the allergies, this all makes sense because you're putting the pieces together. So hyperanalysis, overthinking things is a form of the no, no, no syndrome. And tonight, both Mai and Christine did a magnificent job
Yes.
of going with what resonates with you first. It's interesting because I've been part of many studies where scientists are studying mediums, and they'll give me somebody who is a scientist to do a reading for, and all he or she does is overthink, overanalyze. And I said to one of them, I go, look, you're trying to say that I'm not getting stuff. Everything I brought through is validated. It comes in and you say, well, yes, but now let me overthink it. Okay. And they said, I didn't even realize I was doing that. And it's like, well, yeah, so in studies with mediums, you got to realize it isn't always the medium that you need to look at. It's also the client and how they're putting two and two together. I had something like this happen in a reading yesterday. Something came through. It was like a baseball, and the woman said, no, but my son who died loved playing baseball. It's like, how about yes, comma, my son who passed loved playing baseball, as opposed to no. And so people will do that. And so anyway, you've been very, very good, and Christine at connecting the dots. So for all the
Yes.
other callers, please do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
excuse me for interrupting, Mark, but since you are in the Houston area, we'd also like to invite you to be part of the studio audience at Great Day Houston. So go to Mark's website and at Body, Mind, and Soul, they are charging admission, but that's a wonderful venue as well at Body, Mind, and Soul in Houston off of Katy Freeway. And I really love the fact that you did connect everything together. It is such a wonderful gift. And once again, we're so sorry for your loss. And
Yes.
thank you so much for tuning in to The Psychic in the Doc.
Thank you, Mai. We'll leave that with you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank
So I just want to remind everyone that I have a whole lot of events coming up. We got online light circles, February 14th and 15th. In fact, I've got a newsletter going out right after the show, and it's entitled Broken Hearts Don't Have to Last Forever. And communicating with spirits is a way to help heal that broken heart, to find that peace of non-violence within you, that inner peace. And I just love tonight's theme. And Rocky, I'm so happy that you've been here to co-host with me. And I look forward to Dr. Pat returning next week, and to our special guest, Suzanne Ross of the Sedona Ascension Retreat. And you can find out about that once again by going to my calendar of events on my website. Scroll into March, and you'll see the Sedona Ascension Retreat and how to get your discounted tickets for that. So Rocky, you're going to be traveling with me throughout the country. And it's really funny because when Rocky first started working with me, she coordinates everything. And then we'd be going to venues and people around, are you Rocky? So Rocky's got her whole group of fans, which I just really love.
It's crazy.
And well, and you've been co-hosting The Psychic in the Doc, and you were interviewed. You have a whole interview that you're part of a documentary that was just released. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it is. Gosh, they have such a long name, but it's a Zinkus production company, and it is an. You can also find that out on Mark's website, and they are doing conversations with people, how to get wisdom from people who have lived life, and how to be happy as human beings. And so, Zinka has recorded held
Yeah.
conversations with so
Oh,
many different people to create a wonderful show that talks about helping people resolve issues.
super. Yeah, and Rocky did a great job with that. And we're going to be back next week on The Psychic and the Doc, like I said, with special guest Suzanne Ross of the Sedona Ascension Retreat. We've got other great guests coming up, wonderful shows. Dr. Pat and I will be taking calls from listeners. And I want to thank everybody at Transformation Network for their hard work. And once again, I want to send our sympathies and deepest condolences to the families of the victims of the horrific jet and helicopter collision in Washington, D.C. Our thoughts, our prayers, our hearts are with you. So thank you, everyone. I'm Mark Anthony, JD, Psychic Explorer, also known as the Psychic Lawyer, and I'll be back with the amazing Dr. Pat Baccili next week. Thank you, and may God bless all of you.
Many blessings, love and light to everyone. Have a great week.
Hey, everybody, thank you for tuning into The Psychic and the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Baccili, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on The Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.